Welcome to the full moon in Capricorn, ancient tarot Celtic cross. What a positive reading it is. For the Celtic cross, our first card, which is the basic card, the basic energy, is the Three of Pentacles. That is the earth sign. I'm going to show you the cards and lay them out, and then we're going to dive deeper into each card. The second card, which is the energy that supports this, is the High Priestess, number 2 in the major arcana. The third card representing the conscious thoughts. This card represents our conscious thoughts. And we have the Sun, number 19 in the major arcana. And many believe to be, well, it definitely is one of the most positive cards in the entire deck. In our unconscious thoughts, we have another number 2. This is the Two of Wands, the fire element. And you can see how the pattern, the explosion in the center, emanates the same energy as the Sun card did. Our past influence is the Magician, number 1 in the major arcana, and he's actually the counterpart or the cohort to the High Priestess. In the 6th position, the future energies, the future direction, where we're heading to, is the Hermit, number 9 in the major arcana. The card that represents you, your role in the collective, is the Queen of Pentacles. She's the queen of the earth element. The next card represents energy coming to you from the outside world. And we have the Prince of Wands, the Prince of the fire element. Your hopes and fears, the 10 of Cups, satiety in the water element. And the outcome, sorrow, the 3 of Swords, which is the air element. And this full moon is conjunct Pluto, exactly conjunct Pluto, which is the card of transformation. You may know that we've had our Pluto return, the United States Pluto return this year. And because of Pluto's retrograde phase, there were 3 times where Pluto would be at that exact degree of the return of where it was when the United States was originated in 1776. And at this moon, it's visiting that same degree once again. So humanity's been given this choice by Pluto in 2020 with the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, transform or die. And I find it really cool that at the bottom of the deck we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. It's represented by Pluto and Osiris. So now I take notes, and I wish I could just read this totally intuitively, but I take notes so that I don't forget the important things that I want to say about each card. So for the okay, so I also found it interesting that in this spread we had, as far as numerology goes, we have 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 9. The other cards are court cards, which have a value of 1, but the progression of the 2s and the 3s and the 9 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3 we had 5 ones. The court cards are represented by ones. So 5 ones, which is the number of new beginnings. Then the progression of 2 2s, 2 3s, and a 9. We need the 9 because we always have to bring to completion before we're ready to start what's new. But this reading is all about new beginnings. And we're at the second half of 2022. So it's always a great time to look at, you know, where do I stand with my goals that I set for myself in 2022? And how am I going to finish this year strong? So again, I'm just really loving this reading. So for the 3 of Discs, this card is works. It's the material establishment of the idea of the universe. The material establishment of the idea of the universe. So everything that is was an idea first. So this card is really one of the most basic cards of manifestation. We'll just allow you to keep looking at the 3 of Pentacles. So this card is represented by, well, it's about what kind of world do you want to live in? And what are your ideas about what your ideal life looks like? And more importantly, what it feels like. Because our emotions are the fuel, our fuel for manifestation. So you really want to ask yourself, what are my ideas about the world I want to live in? And how does that make me feel? And get into that energy as if you're already living your ideal life. So this card, if we all put more energy into creating our best version of ourselves, then we are free to create. This card gives the determination of basic form. Intention is 100% of manifestation. Your intention is 100% of manifestation. So spend some time thinking into that. This card is ruled by Mars in Capricorn. Interesting, the moon is in Capricorn. The energy is constructive, like that of the builder or the engineer. And the image is that of a pyramid viewed from above. There are 3 wheels on the base, and those wheels represent all the basic forms of creation. So it's your sulfur, salt, and mercury from an alchemical standpoint. In Hindu, it's the sattvas, tajas, and ramas. And in Hebrew, the Hebrew alphabet, they are the mother letters, Aleph, Shin, and Mem, or also represented by fire, air, and water. So this is everything you need to create. But it also refers to gradual process. So step by step, stay in the step you're in and make gradual progress towards your goals. And you can never fail, ever. All you can do is learn. Full employment of your energies. This is going to involve full employment. You will have full employment of your energies towards your goal. You're going to need full engagement of your body, mind, and spirit. That's another way to look at these 3 wheels. Body, mind, and spirit. When you are holistically in balance, this is where you will realize the results of your efforts, where clarity arises and the heavens open up. Clouds of uncertainty will challenge you, but your unshakable affirmations are the key to your success here. And now with the High Priestess, number 2 in the major arcana, she is the moon. She represents the moon, which, again, we're doing our full moon in Capricorn reading. And So the moon is the general feminine symbol. And in the second order corresponds to the sun, which was in our conscious thoughts. We have the sun coming up next in our conscious thoughts. So the balance throughout this reading is really incredible. We've essentially got the moon and the sun, but the priestess is actually the supernal triad. She represents really the divine mother triad, and also she connects the supernal triad between the Father and the sun, sun, in its highest and most perfect manifestation, in exact balance in the middle pillar of the tree of life. And this is represented by the bow that we see at her waist. She's actually masculine on the bottom and feminine on the top. So she really represents perfect balance. There is here, therefore, during this Capricorn full moon, the most pure and exalted conception of our moon. It's a super moon, so it's very close to the earth. I hope that you got the chance to be out bathing in the moonlight. And this card also represents the most spiritual form of Isis, who represents Divine Mother God. The Divine Mother, eternal virgin Artemis of the Greeks. She is clothed by only veils of light. So light here should not be regarded as the perfect manifestation of spirit, but rather the veil that hides spirit. She is thus light and the body of light. She is the truth behind the veil of light. She represents the soul of light, and really beautifully, the menstruum of manifestation. The menstruum of manifestation. Again, nothing becomes a thing without being an idea first, and nothing comes into this world, nothing is birthed without a womb. She's represented by the goddess Nuith, who is the night sky. Nuith is the most ancient sky goddess, thought to have birthed the earth through her very womb. So embodied beings get to show up vulnerably, fully integrating heart-mind coherence, and allow for authentic reconciliation of all opposites. Reconciliation of masculine and feminine within, light and dark, our shadows fully integrated, shining the light on them, bringing them into consciousness, loving them and accepting them. Could this be the moment, based on just what we've seen so far in this reading, when the new aeon, the new earth, actually comes into form in present timeline? So with the high priestess in this position, the energy is furthering the great work we talked about with the Three of Discs, and it demonstrates the most spiritual manifestation of feminine, which then takes itself to the masculine correlative. This virginal goddess is thus potentially the goddess of fertility, the idea behind all form. The bottom of the card, if you look closely, depicts all manner of the beginnings of life. There are whorls, crystals, seeds, and pods. This translates to the priestess of the silver star, the holy guardian angel, the thoughts of the holy guardian angel. So the thoughts of the holy guardian angel that have already become manifest, the highest initiation. Now those who possess this knowledge must communicate this to true aspirants. So communicating spirit to the people of earth. That is what I see represented. And for those on the path of transformation, letting go of the bliss of one. So achievement of one has been our path, achievement of one. Letting go of that and dissolving into the bliss of the all. So there is no separation. There is nothing but harmony. No one is hungry. No one is abused any longer. This is the age of collaboration. Further meanings are intuitive power, healing, independence, inner equilibrium, self-confidence, personal responsibility, and trust. Trust in your intuition. Trust that you're on the right path. And moving on to the Sun card in our conscious thoughts. The Sun simply represents Haru Ra Ha, which is the Lord of the new Aeon. And in his manifestation, the race of men, the Sun, S-U-N, spiritual, moral, and physical. He is the Lord of light, life, liberty, and love. This new Aeon has for its purpose the complete emancipation of the human race. So when you hear people talking about the new earth or the new Aeon, that actually means the complete emancipation of the human race. And thanks to my work with this deck, I've taken that on as my personal mission in life to help accomplish the complete emancipation of the human race. And I know I'm repeating it a lot because it's a big deal. It barely seems feasible. There is so much oppression, slavery, poverty, despair, anger, but we can move through that in a breath. A breath. In any one breath, you can choose to take responsibility for every single result you have in your life to date. You can surrender to the higher power, your higher self, which is source energy. We are intimacy, into me, you see, intimately connected, one with source. In any breath, you can dissolve all illusion and surrender into the river of light that is represented by the Sun card. So, if we stop now, this reading is incredible enough. True surrender is the most powerful action you can ever take. Sometimes surrender may seem like you're giving up a battle, but surrender is actually the most powerful action you can ever take. So there's a rose also represented here, and the rose represents the flowering of solar influence. Again, masculinity has been rather distorted in the powers that have been, and it is time now for masculine embodied beings to step into their own heart-mind coherence and vulnerability and show up completely open in this world. So every sign of the zodiac is also seen surrounding the Sun here, and they're all in perfect order. You see the twins who are showing up over and over throughout this deck. The twins here are once again referring to the goddess Nuith, but here it's a childish representation of the goddess Nuith, who was thought to have birthed the earth into being. And here she is choosing to wear a belt or a girdle on the Lady of Infinite Space. So choosing to gird herself. We see this green mound in the bottom, which represents the earth, and the shape of it is aspiring to the heavens. There's a wall at the top, which indicates that the wall indicates that this is not going to be a new Aeon without control. There will still be formidable problems which have been raised by the growth of civilization. The problems that we have are simply because of the growth of civilization. Back to these children, they are representing male and female, eternally young, shameless and innocent, and they're dancing in the light. They represent freedom, and freedom equates to sanity. Freedom equates to sanity. So we have found ourselves in the dreaded quagmire now of psychopathology. Almost everyone is running amok in their minds. Psychopathology. So this level of freedom, free the mind, free everything else. So this freedom, represented here by the sun, gives you highly creative energy, fulfilled love relationships, wisdom, spirituality, transformation, liberated partnerships, and freedom resulting in ecstatic joy and enthusiasm. All energies are available for the common creative process. And there is an intention for you if you choose to state this intention throughout the month or throughout the night. I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. And now we have here in our unconscious thoughts the Two of Wands in the fire element, dominion. And again, we see that same sort of energy bursting forth as we did in the sun, but with different colors. This card represents will in its most exalted form. So far, we've had all this creative energy, and we've had a lot of talk about ideas and intentions being the key to manifestation. And now we've got divine will in its most exalted form. This is the kind of will that, when unassuaged of purpose and free from the lust of result. So will unassuaged of purpose and free from the lust of result is in every way perfect. Mars in Aries is the representation of this card. Mars is the ruler of Aries, so Mars is very at home there, and it represents energy initiating a current of force. The flames from the center mirror the sun, who is also exalted in Aries. This card is like a dynamic pioneer, and this pioneer is constantly seeking new ways and methods of advancement. So you will have all the energy that you need to bring your ideas into fruition. Be in command of yourself and your energy. Take daily practices to be in command of yourself and your energy. Breath work practices, meditation, yoga, everything you can do to take care of your energies. We are energetic beings. Here's another intention for us. I only receive energetic communications that honor me while deflecting all others with forgiveness and love. And moving on to the card in the 5th position representing past influences, the Magician, the consort of the High Priestess. This card is attributed to the planet Mercury, who is represented by the ancient Egyptian god Tehote, the god of communication. And we see here a juggler who is juggling all the instruments of communication. So again, this is representing, and he's also got wings on his feet and wings of light behind his back. So again, we're entering this river of light with abandon and surrender, just trusting that our purpose for being is right in divine timing, and simply surrendering to this river of light. We will have every single tool that we need. This card is energy sent forth, and it represents wisdom, the will, and the word. So we're seeing each card build upon the other. Wisdom, the will, and the word. The thing that stuck out to me most about the Two of Wands is that perfect will. And now we've got that perfect will paired with wisdom and the word. And our spoken words are so powerful for creating. I just read this in the last day or two. Spelling, the word spelling. Our words are so powerful that we cast spells. We're spelling with our words. So this is the word by which the worlds were created. That is the word that is represented in this card here. The words by which the worlds were created. So in brief, this Magus is the S-O-N, sun. So we've got the S-U-N, sun, represented quite heavily here. And now we bring in the S-O-N, sun, which is the manifestation and act of the Father. The male correlation of the High Priestess, we've already talked about. He is the understanding, and he is the messenger of the gods. He represents physics, communication. You have all the tools needed to manifest. Flexibility, brilliance. Mercury here bears the energy which radiates from him. The objects he juggles. He has coins, which represent body, your body, matter, and finance. Fire, which represents inspiration and dynamics. A wand, which represents philosophy and spirituality. An arrow, which is directness and honesty. A scroll for writing and publications. A winged egg, which is telepathy and extrasensory powers. A cup with a snake, which represents your emotions, sensuality, and relationships. And a sword, which is your intellect and your logic. So again, you can see you've got every tool right here in your bag to manifest this month and beyond. The energy of this reading is the next 4 weeks and beyond. So the important thing here about the magician is he must remain in touch with his spirit in order to create. So you have at your disposal brilliant capabilities which should be shared with the world. So what can you do to bring your gifts into full expression in the world? And our intention for this one: the full expression of my creative potential fulfills me and makes me happy. And now moving on to the energies moving us forward, the energies moving into the next 6 months of this year. We have the Hermit, number 9, represented by the zodiac sign of Virgo, the earth element. Finding one's own light. You must go within to find your own light. So we've talked about surrendering to that river of light, but here we talk about the portal is through your very own heart. This is about going within to mine your shadows, which can seem like terrifying territory. It can be really scary to go into the world of the depths of your own shadow. But it's important to delve in here and to make sure that all the important details have been brought to completion. So your shadow represents parts of yourself that you've despised, loathed, abandoned. You felt a need to create a mask because somebody told you it wasn't acceptable at some point and you believed it. And the time of personal responsibility for going in to those shadows, identifying them, embracing them, shining light on them, loving them, absolutely loving and accepting those abandoned parts of yourself is what brings you into wholeness. So, this Hermit, by the inner wealth, the external world, by relishing in your inner wealth so much, and you get to this place when you're in the Hermit energy where you discover that light within and you love being there alone so much that the external world seems to lose its color and seems unimportant. And you find that there isn't a need to chase after anything because everything you need is within. So there's no need to chase after anything that is external or deceptive or transitory. So bringing all your unfinished business to completion frees you for new endeavors and allows the transforming power of your inner light to permeate all aspects of your being. The light, the dark, no difference. The Hermit energy helps you to accept all the nuances of yourself and to boldly dance to the beat of your own drum, not a care of what anyone else thinks. Become acquainted with your own inner healer. The intention for the Hermit card: I enjoy my aloneness, and I can stop being alone whenever I choose. And moving into the 7th position, this is the card that represents you, your energy during this time. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. She is represented by the watery aspect of Earth. She is the watery aspect of Earth. She represents Capricorn in the zodiac. So we've got another Capricorn influence here in this Capricorn full moon. She represents fruitfulness, physical nourishment, and overcoming the barren past. What a perfect progression from the Hermit assessing his past, mining his shadows, fully integrating himself, loving himself, and now moving into the Queen who has overcome the barren past. She's enjoying the harvest while she reflects on her difficult journey. She has clarity of her, she has clarity of her advanced powers of perception. She has clarity of her advanced powers of perception, and we gain the powers of perception from going within. She symbolizes the renewal of earth and the fruitfulness of the harvest. She represents the procreative energy needed to birth the new. So take good care of your body. Tend to what you need to tend to. Don't leave anything that needs attention left go right now. Make your top priority list of everything that needs to be tended to and get your matters in order. New is coming. New endeavors are on the horizon. New possibilities for everyone. Stay or become optimally healthy now by honoring the temple of your soul. Your internal beauty radiates and magnetizes all material abundance to you. The intention for the Queen of Pentacles is: I give my body the gift of loving affection, and it gives me the gift of life. I give my body loving attention, and it gives me the gift of life. Moving on to the energy coming to us from the outside world, the Prince of Wands. He is represented by the earthy aspect of fire, being freed from fear, new beginning, again, new beginning, optimism, greater perception. Fear is conquered. This prince is naked and unafraid. He is open and vulnerable. That picture of the masculine we talked about a little bit earlier is represented here in the energies coming to you from the outside world. So what this reading tells me is if you are at all looking for love, ready for love, love is coming and love is available to us now, with authentic masculine and feminine being balanced in both you and your partner. Complete reconciliation of opposites. Fear is conquered. The prince is naked, open, unprotected. His staff bears the symbol of the sun. So we've got another correlation to the solar energies coming through in greater and greater levels. His chariot is drawn by a lion, and it moves swiftly towards his goal. He moves with definiteness, openness, and freedom. He does not need to hide. He holds a phoenix scepter, a symbol of power and energy. He is a pioneer. His heart is open and he sees the world with new eyes. Why? Because he's done the inner work. When you go within to that hermit energy and see yourself with new eyes, it is only then possible that we see everything else with new eyes, and we can let go of judgment, fear, and all of the things that have held us back, all of the limiting beliefs. So this is the course for a new perspective. Now nothing can hinder or limit the creative flow. Nothing can hinder or limit your creative flow. Intention. I love life and life loves me. The 9th position, our hopes and fears, the 10 of Cups, the second happiest card in the deck after the Sun, is the 10 of Cups. Satiety and abundance. These cups are arranged perfectly, identical to the tree of life. They are in order. They are being filled with the river of light, and they are overflowing. Here we have another representation of Mars showing up in our reading. This card represents Mars in Pisces. Fulfillment radiating. Everything is in order, harmonics, deep fulfillment, a wealth of love is received, which overflows. All who take part in this river of love. The more you give, the more you receive. All who surrender and enter this river of light, and now we've got a river of love, or a river of loving light. Enter the river of loving light. The more you give, the more you receive. That is the mantra. I enter this transforming river of love. The more I give, the more I receive. The transformation is complete, and alchemical gold is the result. These cups are cups of gold. You have the decisiveness that you need to bring forth into the outer world that inner richness and beauty that you've been cultivating. You are simply radiant. We receive light from the sun, the moon, the stars, and the light from within you. Our mantra for this one: life gives me all I need to be happy. Our last card in the 10th position, the outcome. After all of this amazingness, we come to the Three of Swords, which is sorrow. This one is Saturn in Libra. Worries. Lack of clarity. So what do we have to be sorrowful about? We have everything we need to achieve harmony, reconciliation of opposites, balance. But not everyone may take that path. We may see a lot more hardship before we finally live in the new aeon of Horus, the new earth, this new paradigm timeline. We may have to watch others choose to go down with the ship, and we're going to experience some sorrow. But still, by taking care of your physical body and by connecting to the ceaseless river of light and river of love, we are going to have everything that we need to weather the storms that are coming. Do not doubt. Do not fear. Do not worry. Sorrow is only a moment. We have everything we need to enter the river of light and love and to be that light and love to others. So get yourself in order so that you can shine your light and bring as many of your loved ones as you can to the new aeon, a time of peace and harmony and abundance. It's up to us to take personal responsibility for the world we want to live in. And we literally have everything at our disposal to create this world now. Blessings, peace, and love. May these energies carry you through the next 4 weeks and beyond. And if you need support, please feel free to reach out. Namaste.